Hey everybody, I'm going to do a short demo on how to add content and manipulate the Miro whiteboard that we're going to be using this semester. So when you log into Miro, you might be in a window like this, and it's going to look something like this. Over here you should have a thing that says a timid mule. That is the team you're on after I invite you. And you can see the boards right here. And there'll be several boards in this space when you log in, and we're going to build one of them. So here it is in the web browser. Now Miro is a interactive whiteboard tool. We're going to use this sketchbook and a place to turn your work in all semester. So you can access it from a browser. You can access it as a standalone app like this on Mac or PC, as well as iOS and Android. It has a pretty good iPad app as well. So let's jump into it. We're going to go into this one here, a student sketchbook. It's just an example. So everybody's going to have a sketchbook board that they can use themselves. We're also going to have a board for collaboration and class activities. So let's start to look at this space. So obviously the large portion of this space is the workspace, and this is where all your content is going to be created. Over here on the left, in this area here, is our content creation toolbar. So this is these are the tools you use for adding content to the thing, to the whiteboard. So if I just go in and type something, start to see how this works. So I grabbed the type tool, the text tool, clicked in the workspace, and I can add things. I can highlight that, click, drag, change the size. This is what's called an infinite white space. So it truly is a large space that just goes on and on, as big as we want it, or as big as the computer can handle. So let's look at these tools a little bit as we start to build some content. The first tool is the pointer or hand tool. This allows you to select things, drag, and if you click it again, you get a hand where you can navigate the map. You can also navigate the map by scrolling around with 2 fingers on the trackpad and clicking and dragging with the mouse. Below that we have the templates. We're not really going to use the templates very much, but we'll get into that later in a more advanced section. Then we have the text tool, and like I said, you can type something, and it gives you, whenever you do that, it gives you this toolbar here that pops up above it that lets you change some things about it. So we can highlight that text, bold, italicize. We can add a link there to something from outside. And that text is now an active link that'll jump you out into the web browser. You can do alignment, add bulleted lists, change the fonts, all sorts of stuff. And you can even add a background to that text if you want to make it highlight. So this is a visual note-taking collaboration environment. So think about using that. Notice when I grab that, I can move that thing around, so I can rearrange things, make them look interesting, and start to build something that has a lot of visual appeal and lets us organize information in all sorts of different ways. Now notice I can scroll in and out on these things. So you're going to need to size things in relationship to each other. The other way this board functions is as a concept map. What that means is that you can draw lines and connect things. So if I highlight that text that I wrote the first time, then you have these little blue dots around this space. If I click on one of those and drag it, you're going to see a line start to come out. And now I've attached it to this other text. And if I move that around, it stays attached. So you can draw links between things. And if I click on that line and highlight that, I can get in there and change the shape of that line as well. So there's all sorts of interesting things you can do with that to keep things connected, keep things visual. The next tool we have here is a sticky note, and it is exactly that. If I click, I can make a sticky note, a note with lots of text, and I can make those bigger or smaller. I can connect those as well, and start to add things. So it's just a different way of visualizing information. Down below that, the next tool we have is a shape tool, and there are all sorts of interesting shapes here. So a shape is essentially similar to a text box, but has an outline. So we can go in and change the color to this. We can add some text in them. Oops. Okay, our next tool is the shape tool, and we can drag this out. We can add some text in there. We can change the color. So essentially, a shape tool is sort of like the text tool, but it allows you to change and add some more variety of shapes. You notice this one has a little rounded corner here, and the text stays the same size in relationship to the thing. Of course, I can change that. But there are lots of shapes available. So if you want something like a star or something like that, that's where you'd find that in the Shapes panel. Here's our connection line tool, and this allows you to change the types of lines you're working with. So if I wanted to connect this to this with just a line without arrows, I can select that, or one with the arrow, or I can make a bigger directional arrow like that. You notice that stays, and I can move that. So you want to direct people's attention to things. The next box down here is a comment. So if somebody else in your group posts something and you want to comment on it, what you do is you click this comment button. You go and click that comment and put that on the board. And it puts a comment there with your name, and it will stick there for other people to think. Now, what this does is this adds a little comment box. So it's not adding elements to the sketchbook, it's adding comments, like so. And now if we move that around, that sticks with that attribute there. Now the next thing we have is a frame. Okay, this is your frame tool. Now framing tools do two things. So if I click on that, select the custom, I can draw a frame size. So a frame is an element. Here's our attribute bar here. I can put some colors in and kind of separate things out. So if you scroll out, this frame will kind of surround everything. So if you have a different section, let's say you want you want your notes from a particular assignment to be delineated and stay together in a group. You might name this assignment 1. Okay, and now we have this this frame here. Notice I can grab that and it moves everything around. I can click on that and scale that frame and add things and move it like that as well. The other thing that does is it allows you to present. We might make use of this in class, but if I go into presentation mode now, which is down here in the next toolbar we're going to talk about in a second, and click the presentation mode, it's going to go to that frame. Okay, so that is a way to delineate things and present them. So that's the frame. So use that to separate, add content areas of your sketchbook. Here, this upload button allows you to grab some content. And I'm going to go over how to add things from outside the program in a second. But this allows you to grab content from your device. So I could click here, go into here and select something, which is an image from another board. Okay, so if I want to do that by that dialog, I can also do things like grab stuff from a URL, or you can add an extension in Chrome to do that. Down at the bottom is another section that's going to be very important as we go along. Mostly these first two, web page capture and paste iframe code. Okay, so what that allows you to do is in your browser, let's say you go to YouTube, here's a getting started with Miro video. I can go down here if I want to put this video in my board. Okay, Miro doesn't accept videos dragged into the space, but I can't embed them. So I want to go down here to share, click on the embed tag, and then click copy. Now if I go back to Miro, go down to this bottom toolbar, and I say paste iframe code, it's going to pop up this window. Paste that code in there and say embed. What that does is give me a window that allows me to play that video. So if I just click in that window, it brings up the YouTube video. It will allow me to play that video. And that'll just stay in there for anybody to access. If I go to a website like timandmule.org, which has all our class stuff on it, copy the address, I can go into Miro and I can go down to this bottom button, click web page capture, and paste a Timid Mule in there. What that does is it gives you a visual icon of that web page. So it's not a completely interactive window, but it is a visual thing. It takes a second to upload. And then now we have that web page captured as a little window. Okay, so you can kind of see what we're looking at. All right, you can see I can start to build some real complexity into this. Now I can drag things from the computer as well, so bring up just a window or something. And I can do, I can have a folder of images, and I can just drag one and drop it on here, then resize it. Notice I have a few options. Let's get this to a cleaner spot here. I have a few options here when I want to do some things to it, so I can rename it here. I can replace it, I can download it, I can crop it. Let's try and crop it and see how that works. So if I don't want to see the whole image and I haven't cropped it before, I can crop it in that space now. I can also lock it. So locking is simply you click that button. Now it's not easy to grab. You can't just grab it. But if you click on it, you can unlock it just by holding that down. Oh, you long press here. You see that unlocks that. Now I can do things to it as well. So if you want to make sure things don't move around too much, you can lock them. It's fairly easy to unlock. So that's our content creation tool. So that should get you started. There's lots of different file types you can drop into here. I'm going to do a little short demo at the end of this video on how to use the iOS apps to get content in as well. So you can work most of this stuff on your phone and your iPad if you have an Android device as well. Okay, so what kind of information can we put in here? Well, it accepts all types of images, JPEGs, PNG files. I'm not sure about PSD Photoshop files, but most of those things that you can drag off the web. You can even do GIFs and animated GIFs. It takes PDFs. So if I drag a PDF here, it will upload that PDF to the board. And so if you have a reading or an article or something, you can go in and actually read that in the space. You notice if I have this PDF, I can actually scroll through the pages. It's a little slow at first, but it will do that. Then you can download it if you want to read it somewhere else. You can also do a few other things like explode those pages out. So PDFs, images, I think a lot of other kind of files too, simple text files and various things like that. So that should be enough to get you started. In the board, you're going to see a Sketchbook Example page that I've been building for you. So what this has on it is an idea of how you might use it as a sketchbook to collect images, sketches from other programs. You might use photographs of a physical sketchbook and start to arrange this. And you can see that I have this, one of your assignments is going to be a serialized plane assignment. And I've collected some images there. I've given you a link to the library, which has a book that has these images in it, and some things I pulled off the web. So I just started developing this, and we're going to look at some other examples in class as well. So let me show you how this stuff works on iOS. So you should see my iPad screen now. I'm going to select Miro, and you're going to see the same sketchbook that we just started on. Okay, so all this stuff works really well from the iPad as well. One tool I did not go over on the computer is the drawing tool. So if you select the pen tool there on the left side of the screen, you can select the color and scale, and you can just go in and start to write. This works really well with the pencil and the iPad, and you can draw over top of things. That all stays on in those spaces, and of course it's easy to erase. Select the eraser tool, and you can come in and erase all that. So writing and drawing. So this doesn't have to be just a dragging things in type tool. And if you're on a mobile device and you want to take an image directly from your camera into Miro, you can click the upload button, select my device, and that's going to allow you to take things out of the photo library from your Files app, or you can select take a photo directly. Here you can see my messy desk, and then you just click the button there, use photo, and that's going to import that photo directly into your map. Here we see it. We can of course do all our same stuff. So you can go directly into the map that way. So if you're out and about, you want to put some things you found in there, that's how you would do that. So that should be about enough to get you started. Please do play around with this, and we'll look at some of the collaboration features in class. Thanks.